Today on the Topping Show, Bud Light sales continue to go down to negative 28.2% as the competitors continue to eat up market share. General Motors to kill their last ICE sedan, the rest in peace, the Chevy Malibu. Planet Fitness to raise prices amid a new CEO. Vivek on Ann Coulter saying she wouldn't vote for him because he's Indian. RFK says he's in support of full-term abortions and goes viral. California Electric Company to charge people based on their income level, penalizing you for working hard. And Beyond Meat, their stock, well, drops yet again. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder released twice a day. I'd say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have General Motors to kill their last ICE sedan, the good old Chevy Malibu, an icon of the decades of Detroit. And they're going to now push more of the Chevy Bolts out, which is an EV, which is, I mean, you can't sue them for false advertising. They call it a Bolt, and in fact it does use, in true Bolt forms, like a lightning bolt, burst into flames with recalls for the batteries, as well as last year there's actually a software and a hardware default, or issue rather, with the charging cable, which would cause people to get shocked if they were to touch it, which is kind of hilarious. Now, going to LinkedIn for the specific article, this is by Kara Reinhardt. She says, quote, for almost 60 years, after 60 years, General Motors is discontinuing the Chevy Malibu, shutting down production and retooling its Kansas assembly plant to make the next generation Chevy Bolt vehicles. The company will also pause manufacturing of Cadillac XT4 in 2025 and lay off workers before resuming the production of the XT4 on the same line as the Bolt. GM has sold more than 10 million Malibu sedans, but has been moving aggressively towards the direction of EVs and stopped the production of gas-powered models such as the Chevy Camaro, which Mary Barr has been CEO for 5+ years. Only like past couple months has the stock actually gone up to actually keep in line with competitors in S&P, well, not close to S&P. Let's just say there's a lot of ineptitudes at General Motors, including killing the iconic Chevy Camaro. I mean, granted, they've canceled it a lot before, but now it looks like the new Chevy Camaro is going to come back as an EV two-door SUV, which is an abomination to the muscle car community. Needless to say, Ford did win the Pony Wars with the Mustang, which Jim Farley, their CEO, says, we are proud to have a V8 and we will always have an affordable sports car with a V8. And it does help that they always have an option for 3 pedals, also known as a manual transmission, also known as the most fun you'll have driving a vehicle, bar none. And it'll be interesting to see, again, in terms of a volume of units sold, the Chevy Bolt is increasingly becoming popular, and GM wants to go full EV by 2035 and have Cadillac be full EV by 2030. Now, that being said, every automotive manufacturer on the planet is scaling back their EV capabilities dramatically because of the decrease in consumer demand. And keep in mind, a lot of these vehicles are, in the trend of EVs, are also heavily subsidized by the US government. Not just, giving the businesses tax credits and, emissions credits, all that kind of stuff, but also individual purchasers. In many cases, they get $7,500 in rebates from the US government, or federal tax refunds, whatever you want to call them. Without those, this will come, not screeching to a halt, but because it's an EV, it'll hum to a halt because of the regenerative braking. Well, in all reality, it is heavily propped up by the government. The government is also, because of the ineptitudes on the left and the right, we're $34 trillion in debt these days. I don't know how much longer we can keep propping up these types of industries. And again, in terms of brand identity, GM just keeps shooting themselves in the foot. They have a long track record of doing this. They've gone bankrupt 3 times since Billy Durant founded the company, when he combined Oldsmobile and Buick way back in the day, and killing the most iconic sedan. And now they make no cars, basically, with the exception of the Bolt. And then, of course, you have the EV and the hybrid Corvette, which, again, I will stir up in my mouth. They only have a stick shift option for the Corvette, which shows you how little they know their customers, and is a good way to push your customers to things like the Mustang and the Porsche, or some people call it Porsche. It does sound fancier when you say Porsche, though. I mean, let's be honest, that's just kinky high sipping champagne or a whiskey glass. That's fancy, that's classy, but nevertheless, it'll be interesting to see I mean, in terms of entry-level vehicles, GM is getting rid of more and more of them. And I know the trend, a lot of companies are moving towards crossovers, SUVs, and trucks. There's also more profit in those vehicles. But let me know in the comments. I always think it's good to have an entry-level product just to get a brand association going and a loyalty to the brand. I mean, they did this for the Chevy Cruze for years before the demand decreased to the point where it needed it. Then they sold more of the Chevy Sonic, which is an ICE engine, small, more compact car. But is the thing where they make a lot of money on the actual vehicle, but you make it up in repairs, parts. You have the good old financing with GM Finance. And truth be told, later they just cross their fingers and hope and pray you come back and buy an SUV or a truck, which has more profit than we can possibly fathom. Like they used to lose $482 per Chevy, Chevy Cruze sold. Just suppose that with the dealers, and I'm talking about dealers right now. On average, they're selling for trucks like $10,000 plus of profit. I mean, people always wonder why there's so many SUVs and trucks in America. Well, partially due to EPA regulations killing small vehicles, but also because there's a consumer perception and they're willing to pay a premium for them. So it's sad to see such an icon. I wonder if they have any of the old pictures. Looks like that's the last generation. If you're, they have the last generation on the screen right now of the Chevy Malibu, which actually looks a little bit. I mean, the ones in muscle car areas obviously look a lot better. But I mean, I kind of didn't like them just personally, just because oh shoot, I like to have weird, fun cars that actually make me smile when I shift. Have manual transmission. I mean, truth be told, I have a green car, so obviously I'm not the core prospective client that GM is catering to these days. But let me know, do you know anyone who actually bought a Chevy Malibu? And if they did it inspire them to buy a larger, more profitable vehicle, like a truck, like the Silverado, or what else is GM really known for? Maybe get the Tahoe for the Chevrolet brand. As always, let me in the comments. I would be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.